days when I was a teenager.
You could say something to the people who don't support Colin Kaepernick. Why do you think that they don't?
Well, that's all I want to ask. Why? Why don't you support Colin Kaepernick? Really?
Because it seems like a personal attack on to a lot of white people. A lot of other Americans that are not black. It seems like a personal attack to them because you're saying that I'm not going to stand up for the flag, for the pledge, which represents America, and he's saying specifically that America is messed up. So it kind of sounds like a personal attack.
But that's what Trump said. Make America great
I mean,
again.
I'm not going to try to justify what their cognitive dissonance is.
But again,
even
with the first conversation, that's a check yourself thing, because not once did he mention race. Not once. If you can go look at his interviews, not once does he mention race at all.
But it's pretty well implied.
But again, that is not even implied. That just goes to show that people know what the problem is. People know that there is a race issue going on. Or at least there's a highlight. All right, these people are not being treated the same as me. And because you're bringing some type of attention to it, I now feel uncomfortable. I don't want to be seen as the bad guy. I'm not a bad person. I'm not bad. I'm not doing that. How dare you? That's what they're taking it as. And it was never that. But again, that touches on something personal, because now, again, you are acknowledging that there is a problem. And because someone wants to change that, you now feel offended. You feel as though it's coming to you. So what are you hiding?
And there's also the fact that he's going against the tradition, which is not cool.
Let me say one thing too, though. Let me say one thing. Yes, race relations is significant right now. It's been a hot topic, but I would really say that race has been the vanguard for the opposing team, right? But it's not the biggest issue.
Oh, definitely.
They propagate it as such. You know, they use it because it is such a big shield for them, right? Like, race is like the biggest defense shield for the bad side that, you know, we've ever seen. Because once that race shield comes crumbling down and all of the people in the lower and middle class realize that they're on the same side, then it's a wrap. That's a wrap, you know? Like, the race thing is the biggest and the smallest issue at the same time.
It's the most effective.
It's the most effective.
It's because it's something that we can see.
Exactly.
Like everything else, like bureaucracy, like the way things are set up, systems. Those are things that are harder to see. Those are the small lines that we don't put together sometimes.
But if we're so focused on this,
I can actually see someone, and the reason I see them, it's like something that's visceral. Like, oh, you guys were slaves. I mean, we were slaves, and y'all were like masters, and all this kind of stuff. Like, you start to like distance yourself from like the bigger picture.
That is exactly what it is. Race really helps segregate you from the bigger picture, and it hurts me because I realize that there's so much going on. And matter of fact, I was at the Veggie Taste event, right? I was at the Veggie Taste event yesterday in Atlanta, and there's this woman walking around protesting, right? I don't mean to get off of the topic of Colin Kaepernick, but I feel like it resonates well with this subject, right? She was talking about the fact that in schools, you know, they're playing a race game or like a slavery game.
Oh, that Tetris.
That, like, I don't know what it was.
I know what you're talking about.
It's like a slave game where they like play different roles, and the kids like, they gotta do certain things in order to gain freedom, and then they don't gain freedom, and then they do bad on something and they get an extra assignment. Some really blown out of proportion slavery game was coming up and talking about it. You know, obviously she was vehemently against it. But she was saying, like, you know, we're not angry enough, and, you know, we're not fighting enough, we're not standing up. And I was with her, and so she was like, you know, we have to see them as the enemy. And I was like, not necessarily. Like, I get it. Like, okay, that, like, seeing white people as the enemy is just giving them really what they want. You know, like, it's playing into the game, right? If you play into the whole aspect of racism, if you start hating a white man just because they're white, you're missing the point.
Right.
You know?
You have become what you hate.
You have become exactly what you hate.
We were just talking.